Hello, everybody. This is your boy, Mike, and welcome to my new show called A Man's Point and View. You know, I've been away from the camera for a while, and I wanted to do something that really, I guess, spark an enthusiasm in our society when it comes to men, women, and just real conversation. And with the COVID, or whatever it's called, we all stuck indoors. We have a lot of unique situations we're putting ourselves in. So the show is A Man's Point and Views. Now, ladies, as you know, I don't always exclude you out, but how often have you heard a true, unedited view and opinion of a man? We're going to talk about everything from, paternity, relationship, situationship. We're going to throw in a little bit about sex and different types of sex. So over the next 12 weeks, we're going to have some fun. But today, I was watching, what was that show called? Paternity Court. And, being an ex-mediator for family courts, I enjoy watching and keeping up with what's going on in the family court world. But I run across a show, and it was very interesting, and I wanted to use it as my first show. The show, or the title of the show, was pretty much targeting a lady who had a 1-month situation, as they called it, with the young man, and she, of course, got pregnant. When the show opened, and I'm going to show you a clip here in just a minute. When the show opened, she was like, "Oh, I'm so 100%, 1,000% sure he's the dad." But she was fussing because he did not sign the birth certificate. Now, for those who do know the history of child support, if someone, guys, claim that you are the father of a child, they go to the Office of Attorney General and file a case. Unfortunately, it could evolve to you are the father of a child without any DNA. So with that, you're pretty much stuck with a child that DNA says is not yours, but because of lack of knowledge, you are. So my question for this particular show, and I'm going to pop it up right here on the screen, in this particular case, and I want to look at it, I want to read it, because, guys, it's on the website. Go to DFTV Networks, right here on the screen, click on A Man's Point and View. But the title of the show is, Should a Mother Be Penalized for Falsifying a Paternity Claim? Now, ladies, feedback, but listen to the guy's points and views. Listen to what the guys are really saying. But first, before you can listen to it, let's take a look at this particular clip, how the show opened with the young lady, how she's identifying, how she's so certain that this particular guy is the father of her child. And I'll be right back.
Please be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is the case of Garrett versus Boyer.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Garrett, you are here on a mission today to prove that the defendant, Mr. Boyer, is the biological father of your 2-year-old daughter, Naomi. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You say that after a month of non-stop, unprotected sex with the defendant, you are 100% sure that he fathered your child.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Boyer, you say there's no way that you could be the biological father of Ms. Garrett's baby. Her child is 2 years old, and you just learned of Naomi 2 months ago. So,
Yes.
Ms. Garrett, tell us, what is going on?
Well, today, Your Honor, I'm here to prove to Mr. Boyer that he is the father of my 2-year-old daughter. It takes 2 to tango. Give me 1 second.
Take your time. I know it's hard.
It takes 2 to tango. We both grown. We both did what we did. And the result to the fact that we did, we created a beautiful baby girl. And I just need to clarify to him that she is his, because if the fact that when the test results come back that she is his, he will take care of my daughter. He will be responsible, because if not, I have no problem with taking him to child support at all. No.
Okay. So, Mr. Boyer, you've heard Ms. Garrett's assertion loud and clear.
it shouldn't have took 2 years for me to find out if I'm really the father. So.
Welcome back to A Man's Point and View. I'm your host, Mike. And by the way, the phone lines are open. So guys and ladies, if you have an opinion, feel free to call 214-454-0929 and share your opinion. But now, you saw that clip. And in that clip, you can see clearly that this young lady is rather adamant and feel very confident that this particular young man is, in her opinion, the father of her child there. But the thing of it is that I question, and I would like you guys to feedback on, is without DNA, and then if someone does progress to the point where they file everything, and you are held accountable and liable for a child, and later on it's discovered that you are not the father. Oh, I got a caller right here. Hold on 1 second. Hey, this is Mike to A Man Point and View. Who am I talking to?
Hughes?
Hello? Hey, caller, you on the air?
Eric Hughes.
Eric Hughes, how's it going, sir? Where you calling from?
Calling from Georgia.
Georgia. Okay, Mr. Hughes, I see you've been watching the show, and I just asked a question, regarding if a female or a mother filed a claim and it turns out that the child is not the father, but she went through the entire protocol of claiming paternity, should she be penalized?
Yes, I do think they should be penalized.
Okay, and why would you say that?
Because there's a lot of men that are, in the past, they've been accused to be the parent of a child that is not, legitimately theirs. I get that, there's been a relationship in the past, but there's, always the infidelity that goes on, and sometimes it ends up being somebody else's. So that's why I always agree that if there's any question, there always should be a DNA test, which is available, and it should always take a DNA test if there's ever any question.
Absolutely, versus just automatically being named the father. I do agree with you. Well, I appreciate your call in, caller. Thank you very much. Okay, you just heard from one of the callers out of Atlanta, Mr. Eric. But early on in the show, actually before I recorded the show, I was talking to some of my kinfolks and other, fathers in the community. But I had an interesting conversation with my cousin, Jock, and you can see his picture here in the frame. He shared a very interesting point, and since it's an abbreviated show, I kind of wanted you to take a listen to Jock's point of view regarding this particular topic. So take a listen. Who am I talking to?
Yeah, this is Jock. I'm in Washington State.
Washington State. All right, Mr. Jock, hey, you saw the video, you looked at the footage. I guess, in your opinion, what do you think about that footage?
Well, I think that's a situation that happens a lot, that the men don't have the luxury of, having a courtroom, having a judge to kind of litigate and mediate things. And then you have some women that reflect some of their own insecurities and turn a bad situation for somebody else when all they have to do is just talk about it. I do like how he approached it. He didn't bash her. He was just like, I'll take care of my responsibility. And that's how it should be. I wish more men could be that way. But I do like how the judge just didn't come in and railroad him when clearly she was the one at fault.
Absolutely. I think one of the things I value most about him, like you said, he did stay very respectful. But I guess if in that situation, and had she filed child support, do you feel that lady should have been penalized?
I don't think so. With her? Yeah, it should have been some kind of repercussion to the same extent of, the crime of accusing him of that and automatically assuming when she knows she was already at fault. Like I said, it just come down to, if you're wrong, you're wrong. So just say you're wrong. Don't put everybody else through all that.
Absolutely, caller. Well, I appreciate you calling, and stay tuned, and we're going to be right back.
Appreciate it.
Okay, I was listening to my cousin. One thing I liked about what he said, and we're going to take a quick break and come right back, and then we're going to do the conclusion of the show, to how he said, in this particular case, the judge actually gave the father the opportunity, for lack of better words, to share his side before just browbeating him, or as the system does, automatically naming him the father. So that's something I wanted us to take away from this. And also, we as fathers have to take our own responsibility. So be mindful of that as well, guys. But I'm going to take a quick break. When I come back, we're going to finish the show and see exactly what was the rendering of the judge. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to A Man, Point, and Views. You know, we wanted to do an abbreviated version of the show today, Monday. But next week, Monday, July the 20th, come back for a live show. And next week's show is going to be very interesting because it's going to cover something, you know, I think that most of us don't talk about, but next week we're going to cover it. So next week, episode 2 is going to talk about circumcise or no circumcise your baby. But ladies, this one is for you. Sex. Do you like having sex with a man that's circumcised or not circumcised? And guys, tune in so you can hear what they're saying. So that's next week, July the 20th, right here on DFTV Network. And of course, same time. So as a conclusion of this show, we looked at the footage. We saw that the lady was just so certain that this guy was. But in just a second, we're going to play the conclusion of what happened. And then from there, drop a line below. Share your opinion about episode 1 in the footage below, in the form below. And then next week, I will address a couple of you guys' response. But most importantly, I wanted you guys to see the format of A Man's Point and View. So coming next week, July the 20th, I'm counting on you guys. Come on, guys. This is your opportunity to share your opinion and be anonymous if you want to. But let's educate our ladies on what we're thinking about, what our views are, and how we can teach them what we like or dislike looking forward over the next 12 weeks. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And of course, I'm Mike, and I'll see you next week.
The whole scene that came in your head?
Yeah, I was just like behooved. I was like, how could I be the dad? Like, how? So.
Okay,
That's why
so
we're here.
you were going through a lot of emotions and a lot of scenarios were running through your head at the time.
Yeah.
And what happened between the two of you? How did the conversation transpire after you were notified?
She asked me to try to be around, you know, try to get to know Naomi a little bit. I went over there to see her. I got zero spiritual energy from this child. I had zero vibe with this child. I looked at her. She don't look like me. She don't look like my sister. She don't look like no female in my family. She don't look like nobody in my family. So I don't know. Maybe the eyes, but that's about it. I mean, I don't see any resemblance there. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
All children don't have to look like the father. They can look like me. They can look like the grandma. You don't know who to look like. It could be a visual of both of us. It's not all.
So wait, Miss Garrett. Before you get on your plane and fly out of here on your...
That's your honey.
Let me understand. You had the other guy tested.
Yes.
And so the DNA test revealed that the man that you were sure was Naomi's biological father was
100%.
in fact not her biological father. Is that true?
I have it with me, Your Honor.
I'd like to see it. So this is a copy of the paternity results, and there's a 0% probability of paternity regarding the other potential father.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so at the moment you got those results, you started to unblock Mr. Boyer because you were like, oh, Lord, I done blocked out the real biological father.
Yes.
So now let me unblock him and say, how you doing, stranger?
Yes, I did.
Was there any other possible biological father?
No.
Did you tell anybody else, now that I know this gentleman is not the biological father, it could be you? No other man?
No.
And so you knew if it's not this guy, it's Mr. Boyer.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so, Mr. Boyer, how long after this initial point of contact did you say to her, or did she reveal to you, I think you're the child's father? Immediately?
Yeah, it was the same day. It was the same day.
All right. And once she told you that, what did you feel?
I felt outraged, honestly. I was mad because if Naomi is my child, then I missed 2 years of her life. I missed teaching her how to walk. I missed, you know what I'm saying? I missed a lot. I missed a lot. And I'm not the type of person to miss anything when it comes to my kids. So that hurt. You know what I mean? But I don't know. We just got to find out. I can't do anything until I find out.
And so Ms. Garrett says you were the only other possible man.
She says a lot of things. She says a lot of things.
And so do you. We acting like that because it wasn't all this at home. It wasn't. Your exact words was, oh, I know what I did, and we're going to get a DNA test.
I just said that in here. I know what I did. I just said that standing right here, too.
We're going to see. We're going to see, Jeremy. We're going to see.
I'm not trying to throw you under the rug or nothing, but I'm
Ms.
just
Garrett,
saying 2 years.
what is all this about?
2 years.
What is all this about that you're doing right now? Because the truth is, you blocked him. He was begging you for a paternity test and writing to you, and you admitted it. You said, I want him out of my ear talking about, can we get a paternity test? Because I'm trying to have a relationship with this other man.
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't understand how you can stand here now with this attitude like he has done something to you. I don't get this. What is this about?
Because to make me trying to seem like I'm this type of whore, no.
No, you feel bad about yourself. And that's okay. It's all right. You don't have to project that onto him. You sitting up here being mean to him and telling him what he's gonna do, what he's not gonna do, what you'll see. This is obvious. You were in a relationship with another man. You were happy in the relationship, or you wanted the relationship. When he was worrying you about the paternity issue, you blocked him. You said it. Then the relationship with the guy didn't work out, or either once he discovered he wasn't the child's biological father, he didn't want nothing to do with the baby no more. So then all of a sudden now you're gonna reconnect the lines of communication with Mr. Boyer and start telling him how he gonna do this and he gonna do that. And I mean, I think his doubt is more than substantiated in this moment. Sometimes you just gotta tell it like it is. I will give you this. You did step up to the plate and you were courageous enough to have the other man tested because you did want to get an answer. But don't create such a wall between you and Mr. Boyer, because if we determine he is Naomi's biological father, the way you say, then this is a man you're going to have an ongoing relationship with, and I don't mean sexual, but an ongoing co-parenting relationship with. So there's no sense to downgrade him, because he's not doing that to you even after what you've done to him. He has not said one word. He hasn't said one foul word about you. Not one. Because if he had, I would have corrected him. Let's just get down to what's really happening. Mr. Boyer, have you thought about what you would say or how you would approach this if in fact this is your biological daughter?
Yes, I've thought about it. The first thing I would do is try to spend as much time with her as possible so she get used to me as a person, you know what I mean? Just can teach her how to stay away from men like the man that I used to be.
All right now. You better go ahead and preach up in here today, because that's what your daddy teaches you. It is.
Yeah.
It is. Honey, they don't treat me like my daddy. I'm not into it. I will call you out in a minute. That's the first example in a young woman's life as to how she should be treated. So without any further delay, let's get the results. Jerome. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Garrett versus Boyer, When it comes to 2-year-old Naomi Garrett, it has been determined by this court. Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. Mr. Boyer, you are not the father. He's not the father, Miss Garrett.
And that's fine, Your Honor.